Good morning and welcome everyone to the Women's Coffee Club. We created this club to provide a safe space for women to share and inspire each other, learning from a different presenter each week. And this morning, our presenter is Nikki McWilliams. Is that correct, Nikki? Is that how I say your last name? Good.
Um,
Yes. And hang on, I need to get two people in here. Kim and Laughlin are just joining. Yes, and the topic this morning is how to reprogram your subconscious because we tend to self-sabotage ourselves. And how do you to reprogram your mind in order to get what you want? So that was such an excellent topic, Nikki. All of us, we talk to ourselves, we talk ourselves out of a lot of things. Especially sometimes we're saying bad things to ourselves, which is not nice. So this is such a great topic and welcome all of you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I know like it's 7 o'clock for me, but it's later for many of you. But anyway, so Nikki, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself and then why you decided to choose this topic,
well,
please.
for the last 6 years, I think I've had a fascination with human behavior and basically discovering my own emotional intelligence and, developing that because I was such a hothead and I wanted to be more emotionally, sound. That way I wasn't so, impatient and just angry all the time. I mean, I had a real problem with that. I think it was maybe the way I grew up. My dad was always angry, so yeah, I just wanted to be more grateful, more compassionate, more loving, more kind, more giving, and it's the reciprocity of giving and receiving. And the law of attraction too. It kind of goes along with that. And then you have a definite purpose that you have to figure out too. A lot of people don't really know their purpose at all in life. They go throughout their whole life and they're unfulfilled and they're empty or depressed or whatever, and they can't figure out why. And a lot of times it's because they don't have a direction. They're lost because they're wandering around. There's a lot of fears and doubts in the world that people have, we have as a society, we have, and we've given it to ourselves and our kids, and not meaning to, but it's something that I see a lot of the time. People play it safe because if you take risk, something bad might happen, and a lot of times something bad does happen because you're going to fail. It takes failure to succeed. So whenever you fail, you get discouraged and it's hard to keep going. I see this a lot, and that's why I picked this topic today, because you have to, you have to basically reprogram yourself in order to seize that success, in order to just have that faith and that belief in yourself. It takes a lot of work. If you come from a background where you weren't really raised to have positive thoughts or influences in your life. Some people are around people that are negative all the time, and so that they develop the same kind of thinking, the same thought patterns, the same language patterns. The way they talk to themselves and the way that they talk to other people is, it's detrimental to their health and their life, and they don't really realize it. There's choices that we can make though, to make better choices and create better habits, to have a better mindset and a better reality, because as we may all know here, but most outside people that don't do self-development, or that maybe wouldn't be doing a meeting like this, wouldn't really have a sense of what it means to have the the definite purpose, I guess you could say, because it is like a law. It's like the law of attraction, I guess. So yeah, that's why I chose this topic, because I think it could help a lot of people. And yeah, I just like to see people to develop themselves further and go further. And to develop your emotional intelligence takes a lot of patience and resilience. And when we go through situations every day in our life that test our patience, or that we may not be so happy in that situation, but it's just a test to get us to the next level and to see how well we can perform under that stress. And so that's what I've been doing myself, working on my own patience and my own resilience, because for my daughter, it's kind of important that she develops her skill sets in the right way and not have such a struggle in life the way that I did. So yeah, and I'm sure that everyone here can relate. So we can start with anyone that wants to chip in and add to what I had to say, and maybe we can start with Val. Hey, Val.
So I just want to say, Nikki, thank you so much for sharing that, because that is such a great topic. A lot of us, we are programmed since childhood, about from our parents, from our teachers, from different sources, that we have this, our subconscious is just programmed to be negative. And that's why we're always sometimes talk badly to ourselves and self-sabotage. But thank you for that. If anyone else have any questions or would like to chime in, go ahead and raise your hand. That way I could look at your hand and give you your turn. Otherwise, I'll call names like what Nikki just did with Val. So go ahead, Val. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you, Rini. Yes. Thank you, ladies. I'm so happy also to have to see Nikki today. And Nikki, we love you fucking lot. I just love your post. I mean, there's so much love that I can feel from where you are in your life right now. And so that makes me say that for those who don't know Nikki, I don't know you particularly, but I know there's this vibe that we have. And I think you're a very, very wise woman. And I love the way you talk. I love the way you present your thoughts. And it resonates, every time I hear this. You have a beautiful voice as well, too. And I think it's a pleasure to have you present at the Women's Coffee Club. So thank you. As far as definite purpose, I think that, of course, reminds me of Heal. And I remember one day I did a video for his birthday, and I had a little glass of "Happy Birthday, Napoleon," and and I have him in the background. But he became so, his spirit, it became so present also in my life that at this point in time I'm I have this new experience in my life of sharing my life with someone to a distance, but all this personal development work that I've done is paying off, because some people have not per se no clue, but that if we want an awesome relationship, or some kind of a miraculous relationship, it is possible, but it needs participation, active participation, like what Tony would say, Tony Robbins said, a massive action into the relationship, so but all of a sudden, this work that I've done with definite purpose, it makes my mind is going 100 miles an hour. And I thought I wouldn't be able to build pictures, in my mind of what I want. And now it comes to me some kind of more like naturally, yes, the picture appears. And so when the picture appears, that's when we need to feed it, in the mind, and surround ourselves with the music or anything that can elevate the vibration into that definite purpose. And so that was my take on it, as far as how important it is, because it makes us wiser. And I think for all of us, wisdom is so much better than, financial riches. When we have wisdom, it opens all doors. And so money follows afterwards, no doubt in my mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Val. Yes, you're talking about having a vision and definite purpose so that we know where we're going. When we get off track, then we try to come back again, because otherwise our mind will try to talk us out of it. Thank you for that. Who is next? Tamara, go ahead.
So good morning, everybody. Nikki, I love that. I love that you're bringing your children into this at such a young age, because when we're able to program them with this type of environment, they are so able to grow up and be the person that they choose to be when they grow up. So like when I was growing up, my grandma was the one who influenced this type of thought for me. But then I got out into the world, and then you know how the world is, and it brings in like my husband was depressed for 23 years out of our marriage. And when you deal with that, it just brings you in a spiral yourself. And when I finally realized that I had control of the situation and started studying again, I was able to pull out all of that stuff that my grandma taught me when I was little. And so my goal now is to open a preschool and start teaching little guys and parents how to, I mean, I'm coaching as well, but I want parents to be able to teach their little ones and then keep them in the study so that they can become who they want to be when they grow up. So having your little ones, I don't know how many do you have? Two?
Yeah, I have two, but I have one little one, and she's 3.
It's the best time. Oh my goodness. I had a preschool before, and I worked with kids doing this stuff in the preschool, and they were so much more vibrant and alive. And you know, with all the depression and stuff that went on in my family, I got out of that, and there was a whole lot that happened. We're not going to go into that. But when I was able to pull it all back out, it helped my husband break out of his depression. It helped my kids break out of their depression, and they're adults now. So, and then our family is a lot closer, but putting those seeds in there is so little. It's just so imperative. And I mean, I don't know if you can see my passion for this right now. my heart is like this big right now. It's like, just, I love that you're doing this. It just makes me so excited. Anyway, so, and keep going. You know, there's going to be people that want to pull you back. And, you know, the whole crab in the bucket thing where they're, you know, one's trying to get out, one's going to pull you back. Know that you are more powerful than that. And you're doing this because you have a passion, and this is to get your kids to become the best that they can be. And that is more powerful than anything. So anyway, I got chills everywhere, so I'm going to shut up now.
Thank you for your share, Tamara. I didn't know you were opening a preschool. That's awesome. That is awesome. And your advice, or
It's
your
actually it's brand new. I had given up on the big preschool, and a lady just came to me and asked me if I would go in with her, and her and I were just talking about it. And then I was like, I'm teaching them those principles, and she's like, yes, of course. So now
that's
we're
awesome.
working on it. Should be open in March.
See, that's another
Congratulations.
thing about that makes me want to say something about the definite purpose thing, because you have that passion, you already have that, you know, that desire, that want, and so that drives you, but it also opens the door for opportunity. And because it's already in your mind that that's what you want to do, and that's what you're passionate about doing, then that opportunity presented itself to you, and you basically manifested that whole opportunity that came to you. And it's funny that you said that, because just yesterday I was trying to explain to my brother a picture for a tattoo, and I told him, I said, I wish that I could just, you know, like Google Glasses, I wish I could just visualize it, and then you can draw it out, because there's a picture of it, you know, like hologram. And like yesterday, they're coming out with a prototype of an actual AI that you can text, and they'll draw it for you. It's like all you have to do is speak it and describe what you're trying to have drawn out, and they will draw it for you, like the AI will. And I thought that was really neato, because I was like, that's my idea, they stole it. Because I just spoke it, and then it was like, wow, now they're coming out with a prototype. So our mind is very powerful, and you know, any decisions that we make, any thoughts that we have, you know, those thoughts lead to our emotions, and then those emotions lead to the action. And normally, you know, people are acting on their own emotions, and they just let them run rampant sometimes, because their thoughts just go wherever, and they just, you know, go with whatever is on their mind and whatever they feel from it. And it takes it takes a lot of patience to sit there and actually think about what you're thinking about and think about it in a different view. And it's hard to have someone think about something in a different view when all they see is their own perspective. And it takes a group, it takes a community of people to discuss things and see another perspective from another point of view from someone else. So, you know, that's very important too. And yeah, I'm grateful that you're opening up a preschool. That's amazing, and congratulations. That's so awesome.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Nikki. And yeah, isn't it the key though is to have an awareness when things are happening to you and you're trying to self-sabotage, that you know this is happening and you have a way of dealing with it. Anyone else want to share about how do you deal with it when your mind is trying to self-sabotage? Let's go with Amy. Amy, there are two Amy's here, so Amy Okarma. She raised her hand. Go ahead,
Thank
Amy.
you. I know I'm not used to there being another Amy. Hello, lady. I'm so sorry, Nikki, that I was running a little bit late and I missed your intro, but I'm just literally getting chills hearing everything everyone is saying. And I just wanted to point out, Tamara, when you said I had given up on the preschool, and that just goes to show all that, you know, manifesting and thinking and, you know, that idea in her mind that it was something that she was passionate about, that she wanted to do. And then for whatever reason, she got to a point of saying, oh, you know, I just give up on it. It's not going to work. And now look how the universe just orchestrates these things together that no, this is your thing, girl. Like if that is your, you know, what I believe is, you know, everyone's entitled to their own beliefs. I personally believe in God and that we all have our own unique purpose and reason for being here. And I was actually reading a thing last night about the statistics of, you know, just our existence, that they said is something like 1 in, you know, 400 quadrillion, you know, that we were even born, because science has, you know, broken it all down. And that just goes to show how truly unique and special and precious each one of our lives really is. So I'm just happy to be here, and I'm just loving this conversation. And I've been myself, what I've been doing lately, and it's hard to even remember to think this, but just staying in that awareness when you find yourself going down a rabbit hole of something or being afraid, just remembering like, oh, it's just my brain trying to protect me. Like, it's all right. There's no life-threatening situations going on here. You know, we're going to follow through with whatever it is that I'm trying to be held back from. So that's my thing. That's what I've been doing.
Thank you, Amy, for that. And just remember that we are loved. God loves us, and that gratitude is so key. I know for me, whenever I'm feeling down, I have to think about all the gratitude, just even the little things that we take for granted. But thank you for that. Next, since there's no other hands up, I'm going to pick on Kim. Kim, go ahead.
Hey ladies, good morning. Let me see here. I'll bring my face to fruition. I look like a hot mess right now, but I love y'all.
You're beautiful, always.
Thank you, thank you. I have some workshops I'm going to be starting tonight. So I'm in self-love mode, getting myself prepared. Anyway, I love what you said, Amy. I want to direct back to Tamara though, because the self-development and the reprogramming in my mind, Nikki, has allowed me to teach my grandchildren. And it's incredible. They have an affirmation, they every morning have affirmations that they speak. And so essentially they've been reprogramming their minds since they were little kids. And it shows. Both of them are excellent students. They have excellent attitudes. They both go after what they want. It's just incredible, because I didn't have this concept of self-development and reprogramming and knowing your worth. None of that back when my kids were young. like I've always been a positive, like the cup is filled, right? And I think it is because of my faith. But I wasn't really walking that path, right? Lots of unknowns and craziness, kind of like where we are in the world today. I've just grown, I would say, over the last 7 years, grown. And I just find that as you grow, you just reprogram your mind. You know what is important. You know what your value is. You know how precious you are, right? How dearly loved and chosen we are, right? Like we all have, who said we have this unique purpose? Amy, right? Know this unique purpose. So I love this topic, Nikki. Thank you for bringing it to fruition, and always like a reminder, like, doesn't our mind need to be renewed every day, moment by moment? So thank you so much wisdom in that, and just love this group because we're here for that purpose, to lift each other up and to be able to take each other to that next level. We're all so talented in here. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Kim.
I think that's the next step. After becoming aware of your own thoughts and your own actions, then you can begin to change them. But when you become aware of them, then you start to notice things and they become repetitive, and you notice that it is such a habit for you to think a certain thought that, you know, you start noticing how much you think of it. And then that's when you can start stopping to think a different thought. And you know, when you put yourself in stressful situations, or if you actually have stressful situations, instead of them being stressful to you, they will become challenging but not stressful. And then, like for me, I got to a point to where there was not enough excitement for me, so I had to keep moving forward and keep going on to the next challenge. And you know, someone would come to me with a problem, and you know, I would help them no matter what, because it was a challenge for myself. And it was like, you know, I need a web page developed, and I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can make you a website. Never done it before, but I'm going to see if I can do this. And within a week, you know, I had it done. And it was just the mindset, and it's putting yourself in that position to where you can build that resilience, and you build that patience with yourself, and you have that determination to where I'm just going to get it done, and it's just going to happen. And you learn and understand yourself on a better and more profound level than ever before. So I say step into the challenging situations, and then they won't be so stressful for you, and you can actually work through your problems easier. And so the emotional intelligence kind of comes along with that. It teaches you to respond to problems, not react to them. So yeah, that was awesome, Kim. Totally awesome.
Thank you for that, Nikki. And resilience, of course, you know, if you just have to keep going, you know, keep with the process, trust the process. Even little step each day will take you to where you want to go. It'll take you to the mountaintop. So thank you for that. Eva, you're next.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Haven't been here for a very, very long time. I don't have very much to say because a lot has already been said what I was thinking. However, I want to tell you, particularly all you young people, how incredibly lucky you are that you are having children now. Because some of us, I suppose Julie is well, she's much younger than I am, but she still is closer to my generation. We didn't know these things. We thought that loving our children was it. And we adored our children. We did everything possible for them. But there is so much we didn't have a clue about. And I have to tell you that luckily, I had 6 grandchildren. And I had an opportunity to do things differently. And I think that I have done them much, much better. I haven't passed on my hang-ups, for example, about financial issues. Nikki knows something about it, not to mention Julie. Yes. No. Well, we're not going into that. But I have passed that on to my children. And they are wonderful people, but their financial hang-ups are very much my fault. And I know that, and I can see that. However, I want to tell you that I am incredibly lucky because now I have 6 great grandchildren, and I'm really doing something so much better with them. And I am delighted that I've been given this opportunity by the universe, that I can still do things the right way. And everything else you've been talking about, and you're all wonderfully wise and lovely women. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eva.
I did just want to say one thing. I wanted to kind of correct you. You can't blame yourself for things that happened. You can't blame yourself for things that you didn't know. And it's not like you did anything on purpose. So you have to basically pat yourself on the back because you did a good job and you did the best you could with what you had. So, I just wanted to give you that credit because you deserve that.
Thank you, Nikki.
Yes.
I know that. I know. And I must say that blaming myself is not, but I can see what I have done. They have forgiven me. That's what they say. They both say that I'm forgiven, and I feel fine. I really did my very best. I know that. Yes, but thank you, Nikki. Thank you for reassuring words. Yes. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, and every mistake we make is an opportunity to learn. So there's no mistake. It's the past. So we just move on to the next thing.
Me too.
I'd like to hear from Deb. Deb, what are your thoughts on this subject? Thank you, Eva.
Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate being here. Thank you, everybody. And Nikki, I'm really enjoying what you said. I loved your introduction about being a hothead. That really resonated. It's a lot easier to come up with like a fight or a cause or anger about something than it is to really move into the loving of every piece of it and the gratitude. And that's what moved me into where I am now. And that came after a cancer diagnosis, and that came after, like, shortly after that, I'd always been like a psychedelic explorer.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me mute.
Okay. I'd always been a psychedelic explorer. And then when I combined like using psychedelics with what I learned really about my thinking, I started working with other people. And I've been really enjoying a life doing exactly what I love to do, which is teaching about what I really love, which is about consciousness and your thinking and how to create a life that you love. And I've been doing that and really living a great life. I probably do have this thing. Look at this. This thing's so good. I know you all love it. I need a 6-month vacation twice a year, right? When I saw this thing, I was like, oh my God, that's so me. So, and that's kind of like the life I'm living. Not to say that I don't work and I don't, I'm not busy and traveling, but I really do love what I do. The thing that I could really use some help with today from you all is, so I was married to an amazing guy, really opened my heart. And in the end of September, he died very suddenly. And I'm sort of running the question in my head, how did I miss? What was going on? Did I know? Did he know? I mean, I just keep, that's the one that my subconscious is really having a party with. So I decided, I need to really move into some real big time gratitude and just, I'm talking grateful for my feet, grateful for my hands, grateful for my house, grateful for my dog. I mean, everything. And grateful for him in every possible way. And that's really been helping me to just kind of reframe where I'm going next. But I really feel his loss. He was he was a great cheerleader for me. I'm in what's pretty much an illegal profession, and he was an attorney. He was always here to like help me. It was like I had my house attorney, like all those really cool things about being with him. I'm just feeling the loss in a pretty sorry. Okay, and my phone's off, but I don't know how to figure out this thing. But it was just something I could really use some help with. Many days, if it's not for my dog, I really wouldn't want to get out of bed. Generally, I have a client that I have to get out of bed for. So that's really good. And then I start to like move into my life. I take my dog for a walk. Things feel really good. I really believe that I'm helping people. And I mean, I know I am, and it helps me every day. But if you could give me, this is what I would love. If you could give me like an affirmation, if everybody could contribute an affirmation along that, or anybody who wants to, along that reminder that, everything is really here for me to just continue on my path and to illuminate my path, and that the contrast was never meant to hold me back. It's always meant to have me reach for more. And I know all this, but I'd love to hear what you could contribute. So thank you.
First of all, I just want to say so sorry for your loss, but you've had the great life with him, right? So that was like the gratitude part is just overwhelming, how he was there for you. And I think of it as there is always a reason for something that happens. What is the thing in the Bible? It's like a reason, there is a season, like there's a reason why things happen, kind
I
of thing.
always think too, in all things give thanks, and everything. Give thanks.
Yes, regardless, because now you can help other people that goes through that grief process. That's grief. You're still going through it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I see Kim with your hands up. Go ahead, Kim.
Let me see how I would just like to say I'm very, very sorry for your loss. And I know that there are no words that can really help in that arena. I have a friend that I was on the phone with last night that is a dear friend of ours that we just lost in October. And then my brother-in-law passed away suddenly like 2 years ago. It seems like I have been knee deep into loss with friends. And as a life coach, I find myself being in a very different place as far as mentoring, right? And the one thing I would say for you is that, and Rennie, she touched on that really well, is that there, we all have relationships for a season and for a purpose. And for you, and how long were you married to your husband?
I was married to him for like 20 years. I met my husband on the 9/11, and our whole relationship has been like, wow, like big. But he was such an understated, compassionate, loving guy who meditated, took meticulous care of his health. I thought he would live to be like 100, walked me through cancer, and he was my rock. So the surprise was just, is just overwhelming.
Yeah, we have a lot of that going on right now in our world. If you notice, but I've lost several friends in the last year and a half, especially. And so for you, Deb, I think that do you journal?
I do.
You are, yeah. I think one of the things I often recommend for women that have had trauma is to be able to journal your thoughts, because that was your life of 20 years. That's your masterpiece, right? That is your bestseller, and you are meant, for whatever reason that happened, you may never know, right? But in your heart of hearts what that relationship meant to you, and you can take or lean in to all the beauty that it gave you. And I believe that it will just create even a greater purpose for you. Like his death, unfortunately, I think will empower you in ways of strength and power, and a different level of love to serve others with, if that makes sense.
It does.
And I just feel that calling as I'm speaking to you.
Thank you. I just want to share this too. He and I were working on a nonprofit, because he's an attorney, and the nonprofit was established to provide an end-of-life psychedelic journey for someone with an end-of-life diagnosis or a life-threatening illness. And on his birthday, on December 1st, I got news that it was approved for a 501c3 tax deductible status. And so it feels like, and I talk to him all the time, and I have evidence of him all the time, and he sends me things all the time. And one of the things he said to me was, I can help you so much more from where I am than where I was. And I know, and on his birthday, this got approved. But I guess what I'm really looking for is just like you know, an affirmation to just help me focus and get back to center.
Yes.
I do
yes.
feel really close with him still.
Yeah, I am. I would say I am centered and purposeful for the greatest time of my life.
Ooh.
Right, because that's going to bring that greatness in you because of the pain that you've suffered. It's going to bring a new level of greatness to you, which is going to create such that synchronicity and harmony in that 501c3. That's when, you know, his spirit will live on with you. And in that you can share and create that role for others, right? That already know that may be their end of life and their family. You can share your wisdom in that. That's beautiful.
Thank you. That was really great. I love that. I wrote it down. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kim and Deb. We'll go to Nikki and then Sandra.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm sorry for your loss. I know that that could be a hard thing to handle and go through. And, you know, and it's good that you have a dog, though. They're man's best friend. But I sensed a little bit of regret, maybe, in your voice. And maybe you're holding back and you're having those conscious, you know, daily thoughts that it's just you're replaying in your mind why you didn't know sooner or how it you could have helped prevent it. Maybe you didn't spend enough time with them. You didn't get enough time with them. You feel that way. And maybe you regret that you didn't spend more time with them, or that you took him for granted, or, you know, anything like that. You have to forgive yourself. And you have to forgive, you know, not knowing that it was going to happen and you had a good life together. And, you know, he'll always be a part of you. And I'm sure that you guys were together long enough to where he made you a little bit of who you are, because, you know, husbands do that, don't they? I know mine drives me wild, but, you know, if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would be at all who I am today. And so, you know, him standing behind you, I know that that's probably a hard thing to not have anymore, but you seem like a really strong woman and confident, and I think you'll be okay. And just know that he'll always be a part of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. And yeah, you're going for a greater purpose now because he's with you always. And now you're continuing the work that you forged together. And to me, that is a blessing. And now you can share with other who's grieving in, you know, helping other people that go through kind of something similar to you. But Sandra, you're next.
Thank you. That's a beautiful story. My son passed 6.5 years ago, I guess it is now. But my personal thought is stop worrying about where you're going and just give yourself this time. So in the morning, you can find your thank you, what you look around, the Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry, I love you, thank you, please forgive me. That's the Ho'oponopono. And it's beautiful, but you know, if you've got the dog or a pillow and you just hold and have yourself a little cry and a thank you for what it is and what you're going to do to celebrate his life today. Just one little thing, so that you can hold that as your little daily meditation for the day while you carry on and just honor yourself. I think you're forgetting to honor yourself. Why does anybody leave? Well, I'm just reassured over and over and over that they had done what their purpose was here on life and they have more work on the other side. And that's all lovely to hear, but it's for our physical being probably mostly in our head. And we still want them here physically to feel them. But I would say That's a short time. You know, I've been in the financial world for 40 years. And when death occurs or anything, I just always say, don't do anything different for a year, because that full first year is the first everything. It's the first birthday, it's the first anniversary. And so until you go that first one, and then you get grounded. So I'm just saying, give yourself a break. Come on. You've done everything. You didn't have any part in his departing. It was sudden. Stop it. I'd say stop it and give yourself your own love and your own time. You don't need to prove anything right now. You don't need to fix the world. You just need to relax and love yourself. That's my thoughts.
Wow. That's amazing, Sandra. That's true. Give yourself a break. Go
Thanks.
ahead.
Really,
Yeah.
thank you so much. It's been really helpful.
Yeah, Binta, you're next.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for all this wonderful conversation. And thank you, Nikki and Debbie. Is it Debbie?
Deb, just Deborah, Grateful Deb.
Deb, Deb, I'm so sorry for your loss. And I agree with what everybody is saying here. I know that it is so challenging to think of your loved ones when they're gone, but I believe in my heart that they are here. The person that is gone is here. He's now in the spiritual realm and is there to guide you always. So for me, that is what gives me courage and joy when I think about my loved ones, because I've lost so many. I have my mom and dad that are gone and a brother that is gone. So, but I think of them as my guardian angels, because they're here. They just left their bodies, but they're on the other side. And so when you believe that, that just carries you on. So with that said, that is what I wanted to say, and I'm just so sorry. But like everybody said, you've done everything that you've already done. So just forgive yourself, love yourself, and keep carrying on, because you're doing a wonderful job. And but to go back to Nikki, the topic that you brought today is such a wonderful topic, because for me, that topic is actually, I am an example for that topic. So I believe it wholeheartedly, because I come from a background where I grew up with a very loving family, but I did not know how to program. That's never taught back home. Even now, people don't realize that. So when I think about being here, being alive in this world right now, where everybody is beginning to wake up to their own consciousness, is such a powerful thing. But if you don't know how to do it, it just drags you away from things. And so for me, everything you talked about is what I live by every day. Napoleon Hill is always in my ear, and all these wonderful people, Wallace D. Wattles, everybody is like, I'm just so grateful to be able to reprogram my mind, because I used to think that I wasn't worthy of anything. I am an example, and I can tell you, I've come a long way to be here today. And but to do that takes work. In order to know yourself, you have to really take the time to really get to know who you are. And that is listening to your own voice. Before you can love anybody else, you got to love yourself first. And that is taking the time to sit down and close your eyes and meditate, no matter what. Even if no matter where you are, you just sitting down and being quiet and hearing that voice, God speaking to you, like Amy says. I also believe in God, and I'm always asking for help, asking for guidance always. And it is really important for me. Every night I go to bed, I reprogram my mind. Programming your mind. Who are you listening to before you go to bed? I listen to Feeling is the Secret, Neville Goddard, all the time. I listen to that every time. He has another book called Mental Diets. It's just very short books. but they're so powerful. So it is important before you go to bed, if you have ear phones or whatever. I have one that is kind of like a headband, so it's very comfortable. You put it on and you just listen to whatever you want to listen to. Just choose. Those books are very short, like 5, maybe 10 minutes, and you just fall asleep and you're reprogramming your mind. Picture what you want. And for me, I can tell I'm an example for that, and it works. So thank you for that topic. It's just wonderful. If you realize that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, you know. And also what I give to the what I give to the world is what I receive. What I receive from the world is sorry, what is the word again? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You receive from the world what you give to the world. So that is the principles I live by, and always give impression of interest to anybody that I meet, everybody that I meet. I've always been kind since I was a little girl, but I was always thinking that I'm separate from God, from the universe. But once you realize that you are whole, we are all whole here, it makes a huge difference. So thank you.
For that. Thank you so much. Yes. And Val, you're next.
Deb, your story is so touching.
Maybe we skipped Julie. I think she had her hand up first. Sorry, Val.
Oh,
yeah, go
so
ahead.
sorry. So sorry, Julie. I didn't know who is first. Go ahead, Julie.
I thought, oh yeah, I'm missing out again. No, I didn't.
Sorry,
But
my bad.
no, I didn't put my hand up that quickly. So just want to talk to, of course, I've had a year of loss as well. I lost my beautiful brother, and it was sudden as well. So it's just been a kaleidoscope of emotions whirling round for everybody. But the thing that really, really, really impressed me and was the amount of love that came up from his passing. And you know, I could still feel the palpable. We lit a fire. It was the middle of winter. We lit a fire, and we all were staying in the house, and we kept that fire going. You know, the hearth was going all the time, and it was raining and horrible outside. But the love, the people coming, the food that was coming, it was like his passing it had enabled all this love to, I mean, he was already there, but I can't describe how wonderful everybody coming together was. That was his legacy, was that everybody gathered together to celebrate his life, you know. And so it was an amazing experience. So, and now I've come back and I thought, oh, am I going to miss him? And I'll be walking through the house and I'll have a burst of tears. But it goes, you know, and I've got his photo up there. And he's with me, everything I'm doing, you know, I'm sort of thinking of him. So in a way, they're actually even more powerfully with you, for me, my experience, than when he was, you know, living in New Zealand and I was here and I only spoke to him a couple of times, you know. Anyway, I was just getting back to the whole emotional learning, and you know, grief as a process, and we've got to let it unfold, and you do need to grieve, and you do need to be kind to yourself. I think, you know, it sort of brings up your gurgly bits as well, doesn't it, really, to be dealt with, and a dependence and all this sort of thing that we have with relationships. But I think it's a time also at the moment, globally and everywhere else, where it's like almost like a cleansing or a shift in thinking is happening everywhere, and people are becoming more, well, for me, I'm so much more aware of my own emotions as they arise, and the sabotager, you know, that loves to bring in all the rubbish. We've been listening to Bruce Lipton, and you know, he's a great one for talking about how we are totally in charge, really, of what our thinking is, you know. So lovely to hear all, and I want to hear more from Nikki. Lovely to hear you. You're like a light that shines for everybody.
Thank you. And
open and generous and always helpful. She's my standby go-to when I'm when I'm thinking, what do I do now? I'll get in touch with Nikki. So amazing. Thank you. Thank you all. It's lovely to see such a group. What, this group's getting bigger and bigger all the time.
Yes. Thank you.
I want to add,
All of you make the difference. Go ahead, Nikki. Sorry.
before we go to Val, the thing about self-sabotage is a lot of the times that we do self-sabotage is unconsciously, but because all of us here have an awareness, and we probably have a deeper awareness than a lot of people watching now. And one thing that I did want to add about the self-sabotage, because it's a big thing and it's a big ordeal for a lot of people, and they don't know how to deal with it because they don't know when it's happening or why it happens. And a lot of the time it happens because there's a part of you that feels bad for doing something because you're human and you did something and you feel bad for it subconsciously. And so you feel the need to punish yourself for it. And that's whenever you self-sabotage. It's because subconsciously you did something that you're not aligned with and that wasn't aligned with you, but you were forced into doing it, whether you had to go work the job you had to work to make the money you had to make. You know, you had to tell your kid no because it's candy and they don't need candy after 10 o'clock. And you feel bad for it. And then you feel the need to punish yourself later. And so subconsciously, that's what we end up doing. We end up self-sabotaging. And that is why it is so important that you give yourself credit for the things that you do, the goodness that you give, and the things that you do. Reward yourself for that. Pat yourself on the back. You know, go out and do something for yourself. It's like your car. Okay, you buy a new car. Well, you're gonna wash it once or twice a week, right? That's rewarding that car, right? I mean, it's like we don't give ourselves enough credit. We don't give ourselves enough. Enough grace. Just give yourself grace because we deserve it. We do good things. We are good people. Even if we mess up, you know, it's only in our human nature. So yeah, I just wanted to add that in there. And Val, go ahead.
Thank you. We have 4 more minutes now. So we'll go to Val and then Omeka, and then we'll have to close it because we're getting to the top of the hour. Go ahead, Val. Sorry.
I'll be very short. Deb, I think that what's happening to you with this nonprofit that got accepted on his birthday, I want to say that you are connected, you know, to receive such blessing because you've been chosen to follow his work. You know, he chose you. And that is pretty, you know, I mean, he had a big vision and you're part of this vision. And the amount of love, you know, when you wake up in the morning and then you miss him so dearly, that's when you send him all the love, you know, send him all the love. And then you'll receive even more what's coming. Love is always the answer. And God works in mysterious way. The mysterious way, you know, this Spirit is eternal, omnipresent. Yes, we receive messages from the above. There's no doubt about it. And a lot of us, you know, experience it in different ways. But this is a beautiful story and things that are happening to you, Deb. And all the best for sure, for more to come, for all the love of you both. Thank you.
Thank you, Val, for that. And I'm gonna go to Omeka. If we go a little bit over, it's okay. But I just want to say, Deb, look at the love in this group for you. And you know, we just want to see the next time you come back here again, the story, how all this, the benefits that you're getting. I'm saying that your husband is there with you, and there is a purpose with all of these, and that next time we look forward to hearing from you. You know, what your journey with this. But Omeka, you're next. Go ahead.
Yeah, greetings everyone. Yes, coming to this group and coming to other groups and listening to Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone and Lisa Nichols, whoever. It's just, yeah, I'm like a sponge. So I'm just grateful for the internet and grateful for technology onto that level and being able to communicate and share with other like-minded people, women on this group. And everything everybody said touched me, absolutely. And I wake up with when I push the button, Louise Hay. She has a morning and an evening, and it's grounding for me. I set up an altar so that I can, whenever I walk by it, I see the divine in me, and I give thanks. And I have some water and some salt for the negativity to transform, and some cornmeal for the earth energy, and some water for the clarity and the renewal. And I'm loving myself more and more. So I'm very appreciative of myself. And as I get frustrated about different things, I just have to go back to I don't have to, but I go back to my center and what's really important. And that's okay. Everything always works out. And I love myself. I approve of myself. Those sticky notes on the mirror, I make sure that I look and smile and hug myself in the morning. And I'm a lot of challenges just dealing with legacy and my mom and what do I want to leave. I don't have any children, but I've left already. Like if I'm gone tomorrow, I've left a lot of love and a lot of healing energy with different people through my vegan restaurant, and just, teaching the doctor things when I went to take my doctor, it's just a lot of giving and a lot of loving and a lot of healing going on. And whether people are here or on another level and they're other dimensions or wherever they're at, stay connected and stay in grateful and gratitude for the birds, the trees, the rain. I'm gonna have to be grateful for the chemtrails. I'm like, there they go again. I'm like, it's gonna rain tomorrow. It's gonna be a storm. I see it's like, okay, I'm grateful for, I was grateful for nature to be able to thrive throughout all the toxicity that we're putting into it. And so the mind and collective consciousness can change anything. So blessings to our ancestors and those that have left, and they definitely are still here. They're in the rocks and the trees and the wind, and every time I see a dime, that's like my ancestors. And I saw one right at the ATM in the bank the other day, and I was like, all right, thank you. So
Thank you so
thank
much,
you, Nikki.
Omega.
Nikki.
Thank you. And before we close, I'd like to give Deb an opportunity to speak, and also Nikki to close this out. It's been a great session. I just feel the love and caring from all of you. Go ahead, Deb.
I was invited to this group. I was away when I was getting ready to go away to Mexico to do some work and to have some fun before this group. So I came back and I was really happy about just jumping right in. And I want to thank you all for everything. I did this beautiful, after his name was Donnie, my husband's name was Donnie. After he died, I did this beautiful sticker of him that says, I am loving awareness. I was just kind of, and I asked everybody that I ran into in Mexico, just put it somewhere that you think needs to be elevated, like anywhere that you think his energy needs to go. And so I have that sticker available. I was looking around, poking around in my drawer, my desk drawer for it, but I don't see it here, but I have bunches of them. And next time we meet, I'll show that too. But I want to really thank you because I do really, the vibration that you're all bringing feels so good, and I'm so appreciative. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Nikki, just what a great topic. I knew I had to be here, so thank you.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up here, though, Deb, for sharing, your loss with this group. So appreciate to see you here. And to all of you, and Nikki, I'm going to give you the last word before we close, but I just want to say thank you so much, everyone. It's always such a blessing to have you here each week. When we started with small, and we just continue growing and growing, and just love this group so much. Hugs to all of you. So go ahead, Nikki, go ahead and close this out.
So, like much of our life, we always need closure as well. And it's important to get that out of the way because we cannot open the chapter to the new chapter if we cannot close the last one. So, whatever it is that you have to do to let whatever it is go or just move on to the next chapter in your life, then you gotta have that closure. You gotta get peace, make peace with yourself, make peace with whatever it is that you're having a hard time with, and just understand that that's where you're supposed to be. This is where you're supposed to be in your life. So enjoy it, take a moment for yourself, and just stop and smell the roses because that's important too. And yeah, just accept yourself for who you are because nobody's perfect. There's no such thing. So Omeka and Binta and everyone here, Amy and Kim and Deb and Julie and everyone. I'm so glad to see you all. And yeah, this was a great session. I hope to see you next week too.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And Nancy and Esther, so good to see you. And Faith, bye all, and have a great week, you guys.
Bye, guys.
See you. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.